Hey, folks, good evening and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18 because we're talking about GeoWoodstock 18 right here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific. I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're stuck in 405 traffic, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
It's like Tacoma construction traffic.
It never ends.
Never ends. Well, as he mentioned, we are talking about GeoWoodstock 18 recap.
Cool.
It's like a retreaded tire, but different. Live audience. No, not as such. Live audience. Hey, jump on in the chat. You know you want to. Give us your thoughts, your questions, your feedback. We love hearing from you. You make the show awesome. And normally I'd say it's time, but it's not time because, well, the land monkey, well, he's a tired monkey, and as Dormore says, I assume he went to look for his puppet. If you were at GeoWoodstock, you'll know he didn't bring his puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people did, he didn't. Anyway, land monkey is out this evening, hanging out with the other busy beavers. They're pretty tuckered out because, well, they put on one heck of an event. Super well organized. They've been working hard. You know, most people work hard for a year to make a GeoWoodstock happen. They worked hard for 3 because they're just overachievers. So we wish them all well. We hope they're having a great night, great week, and maybe, who knows, you might run into some of them at the event this weekend, because there's still stuff going on.
Oh, boy, is there.
Excuse me. Little frog in Detroit tonight. First, though, since Land Monkey's not here to say it, I'm going to say that we would like to give a quick reminder. We appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Special thanks to Land Sharks. They are one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. You can check them out at landsharkswithaz.ca. They were busy this weekend at GeoWoodstock. Saw them live. Their store was, well, it was hopping all day. Our other corporate Denali level sponsor is Gold Country Geotourism. You can visit exploregoldcountry.com to learn more about the Geotour and, well, the entire Gold Country region. It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think...
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you had it. Keep going.
I said hit that exploregoldcountry.com or hit facebook.com/exploregoldcountry. And if you want to know more about the supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingNW.com website. I'm going to stop now. You speak.
I'm so sorry I step all over you. That's not good for me. That's not good for you. You know, that's not good for anybody. I suspect a lot of people are in or have been through Gold Country in the last few days. Yeah.
Because if you made it all the way to Abbotsford for GeoWoodstock, well, Gold Country's not that much farther depending on where you came from. I mean, if you came from, Sumas, it's okay, it's a little farther. But if you came from, say, North Dakota or, Kansas.
Northern California.
Even that, yeah.
Like Limax did. He went and got 24 caches.
Yeah, it's good to see Limax this weekend. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see so many patrons and viewers and listeners out there. It was great. Thanks for coming up and saying hi.
Exactly. I mean, guys, we really want to get to know you. You get to see us every week. We don't necessarily get to see you. Yeah, now, we can talk about you sometimes behind your back, sometimes to your face. You never know. But, it's so good to see you. You get another chance to see us this week. Come up and say hi and introduce yourself. But we're jumping ahead. We can't go much farther. Well, I should mention. Oh, you did that. We don't have a monkey with us because he's too tired. Never mind.
Yeah.
We don't have to mention that anymore. But we do have to mention about the glow. And you may ask what the glow is.
I could ask. In fact, I will ask what the glow is.
You know, English is funny that way. Yeah. Yeah. The glow is the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email or a recording in your very own voice to feedback@cachingNW.com. Of course, you can call in 253-693-TFTC and show us just how you glow.
You know, folks, he's not kidding. Yeah, what the glow is, Yoda. He's correct there. We really want to hear from you. So send those glows in because these are all sent in by you and we appreciate them. Mm-hmm. And if you recorded in your own voice, that means I don't have to read it and you don't have to hear my voice. But tonight, well, you're stuck with me again. So let's go over to the glow. This one was Minimag found GC6QGXH. This kitty is sitting pretty. That could be an awkward tongue twister, I'm sure, if you said it too fast or the wrong way. It's mission 12 of 17, Yolo County, cracking the puzzle to grab the signed documents. The log says, call me crazy or something. I got the call from Missions HQ in Langley. Missions was giving me a Morse code message. You need to get caches in 17 California counties on August 3rd, 2022 to save the state. Your mission starts at 12 a.m. After decoding the message, my phone starts smoking. Where did that come from? You know that all good mission messages self-destruct, so you know that since the message is destroyed, I need to take this urgent mission. Like I really had a choice. Like a good spy, I started the mission at 12 a.m. on the dot in Ventura with the first grab and then moved up the state from there. With the kids in the back seat of the truck and the bed full of equipment, we were ready for the mission. How do I explain this to the kids? Maybe they won't be willing to make all the stops necessary for this urgent mission. As we made stops in each county, the kids, well, they started asking questions. I cannot talk because, spies cannot talk about their missions. What am I going to say? Geocaching. Yes. I used geocaching as a good cover to be able to stop at each county to complete my mission. It's a good cover. Thank you to geocaching, which allowed me to hide my whereabouts. Such a great tool for spies. And the kids never got the hint that I was on a mission for Langley. As the long day was going, I stayed focused as I drove and drove, with our last stop in Sutter County at 11:45 p.m. just before the day was over. Turned to find out this mission is not for me at all. It was a job specifically for Agent 007 James Bond, the best spy in the history of all mankind. I took the job for him and completed this mission with no problems.
Nice. Well, thank you, Minimag, for sending that in.
Yeah.
Very nice. And you seem to be quite the effective spy. I'm going to have to look at you differently now.
Geocaching is a good cover story.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Folks, if you want to join in tonight's chat, and I know you do because, you're still excited about GeoWoodstock 18.
All the cool kids are doing it.
That's right. Just use the hashtag GW18 there in the chat. And, of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS to talk about something in the after show. And should the urge strike you, you can use hashtag podcast baking to tell us what you've got cooking.
Look at all those hashtags just showing up in the chat there. You're awesome.
It's magic.
He's like it's triple multitasking here, folks, tonight. It's really cool.
This feels like a good old-fashioned podcast, right?
Yeah, because we're both old after a fashion. Yeah.
So, Wits End.
So, CNW.
Thank you. It seems that you were at GeoWoodstock 18.
Wait, was I?
Yes, you were.
Oh, okay. Yes, the Border Patrol let me in, after all. And I don't think they wanted to. But I made it anyway. had a great time. Saw a lot of great people. Had a lot of fun. Signed a lot of things. Found a lot of logs, things. Logged a lot of finds. Whatever it was. I don't know. I was there. It was another country. It was the like once in a lifetime experience of going to GeoWoodstock. Mm-hmm. No, I know other people do it more, but this was my first GeoWoodstock.
Was it?
Yes.
I thought you went to the one here in Washington.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Or empty in your case.
Empty, yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. So what was your impression of your very first GeoWoodstock?
It was the best GeoWoodstock I'd ever been to.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it was the best GeoWoodstock you've ever been to as well.
Yes, absolutely. All joking aside, I don't have a lot to compare it to, but I heard that other GeoWoodstocks, I'm not going to put anything down. I'm just going to say this one was really great. But they all have pros and cons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because of some logistical issues, and maybe just because the decisions were made, they kind of simplified things back. And what I was told was they restored this back to the roots of what GeoWoodstock started out as.
Was meant to be. Mm-hmm.
It was meant to be. There's a good phrase. So all outdoors except for the maze. All intense. It was an intense.
It was very intense.
Yeah. Even the Midnight Madness event was in the same tense.
That meant that the GeoWoodstock was in past tense.
Well, yeah, at that point, yeah. But it was great. It was nice because the weather was great for an outdoor event. The cloud cover stayed around most of the day, so it didn't get too hot. I don't have any idea what the Celsius representation of hot is. It's like 60 or something is probably like melt your face off. But in freedom units, it's 100 degrees. It's pretty warm to me. But it's great. It was great. Met a lot of people. Walked around experienced a lot of the booths. There was swag to be had all over the place. There were events at the main stage. There was a magic show. There was interviews with a bunch of influencers, and I sat in too. And and the food was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The food was quite.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know if it holds up to any of the podcast baking things tonight, but
it was Keith's first GeoWoodstock too.
Oh, there you go. We had the first one together.
Ever.
Yeah. I saw Keats there.
Yeah. And
he didn't have a fiddle, but
we didn't sometimes see Keats, but he was still there.
Well, he might have been there. I can neither confirm nor deny that I may have taken a picture near Keats. Maybe. I can't say. Not saying.
Not saying the.
Yeah.
Just Carlos says, I hear it was the best GeoWoodstock ever hosted in Canada yet.
Absolutely, eh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see. Dora Moore says, I'm glad it ended up being an outdoor event, mostly because the weather cooperated. Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't too hot. It was actually quite comfortable.
Right.
All day. It started to get a little warm in the afternoon, but, not unbearable.
Yeah. And hey, Dora Moore, I never really got I saw you at the event, and a couple of times I meant to go over and say hi. I never really got a chance to connect. And I'm sure there were other people there. In fact, I know there were other people that I heard that said, hey, I didn't see, fill in the blank geocache. They were there. So I know we didn't get to see everybody. I wanted to say hi to Dora Moore. I saw you. You looked good. Maybe we'll connect another time. But
we'll have to go back up to Canada because Abbotsford really did a great job of hosting. The site was very well accommodating to the layout for this GeoWoodstock. Parking didn't seem to be a huge problem. And, the lines seemed to be managed well. I thought it was quite well managed in the space provided.
Yeah.
And Abbotsford itself is quite beautiful.
It was really a nice time. Although I didn't connect with Dora Moore, apparently she got to meet Limax and Genies in person, and she says that was fun. So
there you go.
Yeah, that's great.
There you go. Subway Mark says, my GeoDog was exhausted by midday with all the cachers saying hello to him and discovering his trackable code.
I spent quality time scritching the ears of Dylan, the GeoDog. Really enjoyed meeting him. He was such an alpha male dominant figure that as soon as you walked up to him, he would lay on his back and say, rub my belly. But
thus the alpha male dominance. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was great. I know Subway Mark.
It worked, didn't it? Yeah. He made you rub his belly.
Yeah. And he had that trackable code on him that lots of people came up and took his picture. And he was just thrilled with that. So I know I saw Subway Mark a few different times over the weekend. It was always good to hang out with him. And he came by one time in the afternoon. I said, where's Dylan? He goes, Dylan's exhausted. So.
Poor doggy.
Yeah.
Houston, Texas Dave wants to know what the trackable code is for the GeoPup.
It might show up in the chat. I can't say, not saying, but maybe.
Oh, let's see. Seaback Tribe said that was her first GeoWoodstock as well.
All right. And she also says it's great to meet and put a face to the many names that she's right here in the chat on the podcast on Thursday night. So that's
right.
Great.
So it's not only important for us to meet you, it's important for all your fellow geocachers to meet you as well.
Right. Because everybody sees names in the chat and we talk about things and we yell certain names and whisper certain names. But yeah, they're just names a lot of times to a lot of us until we meet you in person. And that's what's really great about events is seeing y'all in person and meeting face to face and making that connection.
Subway Mark says this is his second GeoWoodstock. The other one was in Carnation, Washington, but this was light years better, more relaxing, and loved the lunch.
Oh, the lunch was awesome. That pulled pork, yeah.
Yeah, we both had the pulled pork with beans and salad, and so
really,
good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to offend somebody here, though. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and tell you the Nanaimo bar was a little too rich for me. Really wasn't my favorite thing.
Wow.
Just saying. But okay.
My wife reacted the same way. She's, I saved her some Nanaimo bar and she's like, wow, one bite and that's just that's rich. I
ate the whole thing and it was too much. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm just a wimp. I'm okay with that. But yeah.
Wet Coaster had lunch with some U.S. attendees. They thought the butter tarts and Nanaimo bars were fantastic.
Yeah. They were tasty, just a little too rich for me. Oh, and by the way, Dylan the GeoDog trackable code.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
Dare we say it out loud?
GSQCM aught or 0 or whatever you call it. So. Komokino, however, he loved the Nanaimo bar and he needed double insulin because, they were really rich. But,
they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nanaimo bars. Now, everybody who went there knows what one is in case you didn't before.
Yeah.
Right. So there you go.
The big question I have is, did Rock Chalk get one? Did he get his fill?
Rock Chalk was supposed to have a plate of Nanaimo bars.
He was supposed to. I wonder how that worked out.
Keith says, I saw you. You just didn't see me. Though I think it improved your signal.
Could be. FR-G. Okay. Cache the line. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Team Noltex ran into him today in an event.
Oh, did you? Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And, as things happen, you just start to develop new routines. His Thursday routine had changed. So it's like, you know what? I need to go back and listen to that podcast. You should.
Yeah.
So welcome.
And by the way, Mrs. Team Noltex has a Nanaimo bar recipe. So they could be making an appearance south of the border, just saying. And I believe Team Noltex is a speaker this weekend at the 20th anniversary event. So Really
and he's
looking
going to bring
forward
a
to
couple of caches up and
Ah,
put them in place. So
sweet.
ones we haven't seen before,
Okay.
you want to keep an eye out for those.
Okay. Well, if it's a Team Noltex cache, it's a quality cache. I don't even need to qualify that statement. It's just true.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Seebeck Tribe says it was so weird to cross the border after 30-ish years. I remember as a younger person, there were so many less restrictions.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And, after 30 years, well, the statute of limitations, it just has run out. So
That's
you're
exactly
good.
the same thing I thought. Yeah. Most of the, you've got all the border crossing guards that have retired, so they don't remember you.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But I did say that something similar to that this weekend. I remember crossing as a child with my parents, and are you a U.S. citizen? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome. That was the extent of border crossing.
I used to be able to cross with just my driver's license, no passport or anything else required, but not anymore.
Not anymore. But I have to say, I made it across both ways with very minimal questions. Are you bringing any of this? I brought no alcohol, tobacco, or firearms into Canada.
No assault weapons.
What did you bring back from Canada into the U.S.? I said, well, the mandatory Timbits. That's what the agent on the other side said I had to bring back. So that's what I did. I got a giggle out of the crossing guard. That was a long term. Boy, I just insulted.
Yeah, they're not offended at all when you call them crossing guards. Yeah,
border agent, the big strong border agent.
My friend's sister was a flight attendant, and she insisted that she was there for your safety, and he said, "Yeah, whatever." He called her a waitress in the sky. I'm not jumping in on that bandwagon, but just saying, yeah, that didn't go over so well.
So I apologize. That was a complete, probably a Freudian slip, but it was a complete slip.
Okay. Houston, Texas Dave also shared some poutine with the border guards, so I'm sure they love that.
I don't know. Did they?
How can you not?
Yeah, that's true. We'll talk about it in a minute. Well, no, we won't. We'll wait. Okay. Let's see. White Coaster says, I've seen photos of lots of friends that were there, but didn't actually see them in person at the event.
Right? Yeah, I know. Like I said, there's a couple people that I said, and I fill in the blank geocacher name. I said, I really thought they were going to be here. I didn't see them at all. And somebody goes, what are you talking about? They were there. Yeah. Well, I never saw them. They never came by the booth. I spent most of my day at the Caching the Northwest table booth thing there. And so if people didn't come by there, I probably didn't see them. But we had some good times.
That's right. Let's see. Gearhead said, I had a blast this year as well. Had fun. Had fun at my house chatting with everybody online. Even Brian Roth showed up.
Well, there you go. Yeah, for all the Canadian BC area geocachers, this was right in their backyard, in their house.
Yeah, exactly.
So, really cool to see that.
And Brian Roth came by the booth as well. He did. He is just really down to earth.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. What else do we have here?
Sad report, Komokina forgot to load up on ketchup chips while in Canada. I am so sad, he says. Yeah, those are good. Yeah,
you have to have ketchup chips when you're
Maybe somebody came home with just an abundance of ketchup chips, could connect this Saturday at the 20th anniversary celebration and give Komokino some ketchup chips. And if you don't find Komokino, I would provide that service to take the ketchup chips off your hands, just because I'm there for you.
What a nice guy.
It's another service I provide.
Folks, I mean, this is not service you're going to get on other podcasts, so
no,
you better take advantage of it while you can. I did have a chance to chat with Komokino shortly. If you want a copy of the comic book, see him Saturday. Catch up with him.
Ketchup chips.
See, it all comes back around.
That's right, yeah.
Ketchup chips with Komokino. Hey, that should be a new series on YouTube, right?
How many bags of ketchup chips can you trade for a comic book?
7, 8, 9. Sorry, we've got a lot of Nanaimo bars
Yeah.
questions. Good to know about the bars. Hashtag overrated, says UDAC.
It's not a term I would use. It's just wasn't my thing.
BC Rock Crawler says, that's okay. I'm from Nanaimo.
Yeah.
And is indeed something to be taken in moderation.
Moderation is a really good term because I'm not saying I didn't like it. It was delicious. Just really rich. And I wish I hadn't eaten the entire bar.
Well, Seaback Tribe says it was great, but about halfway through the Nanaimo bar, it was almost too much.
Yeah.
But I still kept eating it.
Oh, I finished mine too. I probably shouldn't have, but I did it.
Yeah.
Because I have no willpower.
Cash the Line says, my Nanaimo bar melted. Still tasted great, though.
Yeah, well, Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Just Carlo gave his lunch to Komakino.
Oh.
Or did Komakino take it from him?
Well, we'll just leave that for an after show discussion, maybe.
Yeah, caching is a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Komakino even made an appearance in the influencers panel without intending to.
That's right.
That was fun.
I forgot about that. Yes. Yeah. Wet Coaster said Nanaimo bars are not difficult to make, though they have one specific ingredient that is much easier to find in Canada.
Timbits? No.
Let's see. Just Carlos says it was neat to meet and greet the volunteers from out of town as well. Thank you, volunteers. Certainly. Thank you, all the volunteers who made GeoWoodstock 18 possible.
By all means, yeah. We thank the busy beavers, but they can only do so much.
Yeah.
It would not have come off as well as it did without all the volunteer hours that went into that. So thanks for everybody that contributed to make that event a success.
Did I hear there were up to 1,500 volunteers?
I didn't hear any numbers, but that wouldn't surprise me. It was a literal army of volunteers. Yeah. I'm not sure any of them made it home from the away mission, but there were a lot of red shirts out there.
I thought the same thing. Poor guys, they're not going to make it out alive. So the C&W booth. Oh, yes. As Peach says, thanks to Jay, Land Monkey, and the Busy Beavers. That's Helen and Chris from Land Sharks. Yeah. Thank you so much for all that you guys did. You had a lot of work. To do. And I want to say thank you to all of you that stopped by the booth. It was so good to see you, to meet you, to greet you, to put a face to the name that we read each and every week. So nice.
Several people asked for photos. We're always happy to do that. I wish I could remember each and every one of you, but I'm old.
And there were a lot of you.
Yeah, we did photos, we did hugs, we did stickers and postcards and all kinds of awesome stuff. So,
of course, I wouldn't have any with me, would I? Because that would be just efficient. But I will this weekend.
By the way, Doramore was nervous about the red shirt all weekend, but got through it just fine.
Okay.
So,
not all red shirts, die on a planet in Star Trek. Some make it back to the ship.
That's true.
And they die on another planet, but that's not the point.
I met Gearhead this weekend, one of the people that I met, and it was a good time. And Gearhead owns a TARDIS cache up there that was incredibly popular. I want to say he commented to Cache the Line here, set a record. 6 people in the TARDIS. It's a TARDIS-themed cache. It's the record. Okay, 2 small kids helped. Maybe, 6 NFL linebackers aren't going to make it, but they did set a record of 6 people in the TARDIS.
Yes, and it's near the Sumas checkpoint. So, in case you wanted to do that. IHAM says there was no line coming back at the Linden crossing.
Nice. I crossed at the... I've forgotten which. It's not Abbotsford. Where did I cross? Anyway, the other one.
Sumas.
No, that's where I came in. When I went home, I crossed at the other one, but Aldergrove.
Aldergrove. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
the one I keep missing.
And didn't have a Nexus line there, so I waited in line. There weren't that many cars, but interestingly enough, they were stopping every car. Turn your key off, put the car in park, open your trunk, inspecting everything. Don't know what they're looking for. Apparently, whatever it was, I didn't have any. I was sent on my way home. So,
Marcy Down is joining us from Valemount, BC. Nice to see you again, Marcy. Congratulations on your new adventure.
Yeah. Great to see the folks from Gold Country up there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just great.
Peach says it was also her first GeoWoodstock, and I enjoyed it very much. Dropped off a pop-up tent for their use, but it was an easy process after the end of the main event. Great crew chiefs. Yes. Yeah. The gal who really coordinated all the volunteers and the effort is to be praised. She did a fantastic job.
It's a great one. By the way, I'm just realizing now that I was spared the search because apparently the Border Patrol was looking for illegally imported ketchup chips.
Oh, and you had eaten them all on the way.
I didn't have any. So yeah, that was good.
Oh, Seabeck Tribe says, going back and how easy it was. My driving instructor would take us across the border and we just wave and say hi as we went by.
Yeah.
Canada had street lights and street parking for us to practice on instead of town.
I can remember, I don't remember what year it was, but I can remember the first time I ever drove across the border. We did it just to say we did it. We were out driving around on vacation and we thought, let's go to Canada just to say we did. And we drove through the border and told them, hey, we just want to drive in. And I don't know, we went 100 yards or meters, if you prefer, turned around and drove right back into the U.S. And we say, well, we visited another country. It wasn't that great. There was no Timbits involved, but we did it, and we lived to tell the tale. I also didn't get any souvenirs on my geocaching account. It's really hard to get souvenirs in your geocaching account in the 1990s. But
yeah, time machine.
If I was really talented, I could have done
it. By the way, Gearhead is the CO for the TARDIS cache. There's quite a long line with that one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wet Coaster says, I thought it was a good touch that the small chip bags were ketchup and all dressed, as opposed to host on a Thursday night podcast.
Yeah, well, they're only half dressed and mostly half baked. But I also have the munchies right now, thanks to all this talk of ketchup chips. I would not mind at all if somebody brought some ketchup chips to the 20th anniversary celebration on Saturday. Just saying.
There you go. Just Carlos says, the highlights for us is smooth registration. GPS maze was nicely done, and the kids had fun with the letterbox caches around the venue.
Oh, nice. I didn't do any letterbox caches.
Well, those were just for the kids.
Okay.
And we had a couple of people coming up to our booth wanting to know where the stamp was for the kids cache. And, it was funny because I hadn't heard that was an option. And so I was like, people ask for things like that, and I have no idea what to do.
IHAM says, border crossing agent said, why are you in Canada? He said, geocaching. Oh, haven't heard that one today. So there you go. And speaking of people that I heard were there at the GeoWoodstock, but I never saw in person, JT Coffee says, can confirm there was 5. They got 5 people in the TARDIS, including 2 lackeys.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's an advantage or a handicap, but they got 5 people in the TARDIS. So yeah, JT Coffee, I missed seeing her at GeoWoodstock. I was hoping she'd come by the booth.
BC Rock Crawler says, wow, 6 people in the TARDIS. I'm a big guy and my wife is small, and it was tight.
Yeah. Well, note the comment in one of those that it was 2 small children that contributed to the record of 6. So, if you stack them like cordwood, you can put a lot of people in places.
Oh, yes. BC Rock Crawler was there wearing one of our shirts.
Wow.
And was
awesome.
told consistently that the show is great.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh.
It's great because of the live chat. and the patrons and all. Another thing people did that was kind of GeoWoodstock connected, but I don't know if it was officially part of GeoWoodstock, was Icon Run. Wet Coaster said Greenwords and I were able to get 13 icons on Friday.
Wow.
And I know
impressive.
some people got 14 or even 15. Is that how many were possible?
That 13 was, how do I say this? The high standard, right?
Okay.
14, I think, were possible if you hadn't done one, say, like the, well, you could have done those before. Some of the virtual, the locationless.
Okay. Well, like Peach of Washington says, she got 12 on Friday because she already had the GC8 frog icon. So she couldn't do that one again. So she got 12. So that's still extremely impressive. I think my record for icons in a day is like 2 or 3. So, yeah.
Jeannie says we did miss seeing all of the puppets.
Yeah, well, if you were watching last week, I was given a little bit of flack because I couldn't really lay hands on my puppet, but I was able to locate said puppet, and Puppet made the trip to GeoWoodstock. Every puppet made the trip to GeoWoodstock except the one that lived the closest to the event. Not going to name any names, but just saying.
Ended up having to hang a hat on the puppet stand just because it looked funny with one empty post.
Well, we look funny anyway, but
that's true. So,
yeah.
So get this. Somebody came up to me and said, "How did you get the Diego puppet?" I'm like, "Excuse me? These are our puppets." "No, this one's Diego." I'm like, "I don't know who Diego is." So I had to Google Diego puppet, and he comes from the Awkward Puppets. I don't know if it's a show or just something on YouTube, but yeah, Diego looks just like the bad cop.
Okay, well, I can see you being described as awkward. That's not a huge stretch.
No, not at all. Have you met me? I mean, a lot of these people have, and yes, I'm awkward.
Yeah. Well,
for 14, you needed a webcam.
Wow.
For 14 icons in a day.
With 6, you could egg roll.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, some people tried to go to get the webcam in Bellingham. I'm not sure if that's the closest webcam. There aren't, as we all know, that many webcams left active, and they're not putting out any more as far as I know.
So there you go. You talked briefly, Wits End, about the influencers panel. That was a lot of fun to attend.
That was fun, yeah.
So podcasters, bloggers, and vloggers were up there.
Not the geocaching vlogger, but some vloggers.
But some bloggers, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting to hear how much work they put into their product. Yeah. I know video takes a lot longer to edit than audio does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's amazing. So thank you all for your work. I enjoy watching the videos. I enjoy listening to the audio. It was funny how many people said that their podcast listening had gone down since COVID.
Right.
Same with me, right? Because most of my podcast listening was done while driving.
Mm-hmm.
And with COVID, well, you're not driving as much. So
right.
Podcast listening is down.
Yeah. Yeah, I never reduced the amount that I drove during COVID. I was still commuting quite a bit, and I consumed a lot of podcasts. But recently I've also had some changes that have reduced my podcast listening time.
Cash the Line is cheering on Canadian vloggers. Yes.
Shout out for Canadian vloggers. Way to go.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? The GPS maze. Again, we touched on that one. Really well done. We got a chance to do it. We did it later in the afternoon, and shockingly, 0 lines.
Walked right up into it. It's great.
So that was quite nice to be able to go through, look at the maze. I thought it was set up very well. It's very portable, can be moved quickly into anywhere else in Canada. It was pretty Canadian themed.
Some
panels can be changed out, right?
Sure. But the concept or the strategy, the structure, whatever, I heard they were considering using standard trade show pipe and drape to put it together, but instead used a whole bunch of the pop-up tents, the easy ups, without the fabric roof, and that made it really, really simple.
Yeah. Quick to put up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keats agrees the GPS maze was very well executed. So that gave you the option then for one of those icons, right? Because you could go through on Friday through that maze.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And there was a poster in there. You could do the GC8 frog if you couldn't get the actual frog. If your signal wasn't that strong.
Yes, that's right. Signal was there, walking about. Go up and goose him if you wanted to.
I can't condone that action, but you know.
Can you goose a frog? I don't think so. I think it's
I don't know.
Crossbreeding thing.
Yeah, but not only was the maze awesome, they incorporated 3 stops on an adventure in the maze area, according to Beach of Washington. And yeah, they did. So,
what Coaster says it's the best Canadian GPS maze I've been.
Oh, hands down. Yeah.
And, you know, we were talking, it's been 12 years since we've been to a GPS maze. So,
yeah, and I don't think I went through the maze the last time. So,
but
12 years, this is the first time I've actually gone through a GPS maze.
Wow. Amazing. Now, they also talked about next year's GeoWoodstock. And hopefully it is next year's GeoWoodstock.
Right.
This one's going to be in Owensboro, Kentucky. So just across the river from
Ohio.
Yes, Ohio. Along
Cincinnati?
the Ohio. No.
Okay, my Midwest geography is not strong, folks, so I'm just guessing there.
Well, I've got an article here saying that GeoWoodstock 19 could be a boom for Owensboro Airbnbs. Thousands of geocaching fans from at least 10 countries are expected to be in Owensboro for GeoWoodstock 19, the world's largest geocaching festival, on May 24th through 28th, 2023. It'll be a perfect time for the city's Airbnb market, where people rent their homes or apartments to tourists. Mark Calitri, let me say it like it's not a question, of Visit Owensboro, the president and CEO, says, he estimates there are anywhere between 30 and 60 short-term rentals in town at any given time, but things are about to change for the Airbnbs. New state law takes effect January 1st that will require them to collect the county's 6% tourism tax. And if they're in the city's 4% tourism tax on top of that for each rental. This is what hotels already do. So if you're looking for an Airbnb in Owensboro, you might have to pay an extra 10%.
Okay, and Airbnbs are not a bad option. We stayed in one for GeoWoodstock this year, and it was great.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
Calentry goes on to say, being awarded GeoWoodstock is a big-time achievement and puts Owensboro on a national stage. The bid process was extremely competitive and involved over 4 years of hard work to earn the business. Our team stayed after it, and never gave up.
Very nice.
So there you go. If you want to go to Owensboro next year, yeah, I would start getting your reservations in place.
By all means.
Let's see. We're talking about more mazes. White Coaster says it wasn't the only Canadian maze he's been to.
But he did say it was the best, so that's good to know.
Cache the Line, one of the first mazes, was in my home city of Ontario.
Okay, and Wet Coaster did the Edmonton 8 or 9 years ago.
There you go. Right across the river from Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it is from Indiana. Let me see if I can click this and click that and click the other thing. Here's a little map for you. There's Owensboro, Kentucky. It is indeed just across the border from a little southerly point of Indiana. But what city is up in Indiana? Yes, Evansville is over there. But if you go up here, now I'm not going to find it because, I'm trying to do this live and it's just going to backfire.
I see where you're going. Right to the north.
Yeah.
and
what'd
and
you
then
say?
east of there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind. I've just blown it. There's Santa Claus, but that's not what I was
That's
going
what I
for.
thought you were going for.
No, right here. It's Patronville, and we do love
Oh.
our patrons. So
Should we have an event in Patronville?
I think it's almost a must.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it is there near Evansville,
Mm-hmm.
not too far from Louisville, not too far south from Indianapolis. So, great part of the country. Really, some neat country in there.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be flat. You'll get some hills, but not a lot. Komakino says, "I see Santa Claus."
Ah, yeah.
The beauty of it being right across the river from Indiana is that two states are easy to get.
Mm-hmm. And the states in the Midwest aren't huge, so you might get 3 or 4 without too much effort.
What else? Well, we can go back. We've talked about food. The adventure labs were quite good there.
Yeah.
I
Some
was
came
able.
out just that day.
Yep. Some were posted that day. I was able to do the Edmonton Geo Tour. I'm sorry.
Wow, that was really impressive. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I drove really far. Wow.
How about Abbotsford?
Well, I can't read and talk at the same time. The Abbotsford Geo Tour.
That one was easier to get to this weekend.
Oh, much easier. There was still a good amount of driving, but yeah, there a lot less driving than Edmonton. It was quite well done. 15 stops, and totally worth it as you drive around. We found the first 2 on that Geo Tour actually quite by accident. I had planned to do the Geo Tour on Monday, and Sunday evening when we were up for the Sumas Nation
The Longhouse dinner. Yeah.
Longhouse dinner, which was fabulous. The food was absolutely incredible. And the entertainment before there was a member of the nation there that was telling stories of, why do we have, these house posts and what do they mean? And it was really quite entertaining. So when we left there, it's like, you know what? I feel like I'm way out here in the country. Let's get a cache. And it happened to be one on the Abbotsford Geo Tour. I'm like,
There you go.
oh, great. Well, is there another one nearby we can get when we're here? Yes. And so we did a few that evening. And they were very well done. So just wanted to pop that out there, say something. The Instagram playground, that was very well done. So they had the props there, a canoe, paddles, a saw, log, a couple of wooden chairs, and of course painted backgrounds. So very nice. MC3 Cat says the Abbotsford Geo Tour caches were really quite fun. Enjoyed it.
Nice.
Jeannie says, do I get to beat my drum from the Longhouse gathering? Did you get to do a drum, Jeannie's? We heard that, they said, well, now if you're in the group to build a drum, I was like, how did you get in that group?
Wow.
I didn't see that option. And apparently there were the first 20 or so that had signed up, had the option to go make a drum.
There you go. Well, I don't know if Genie's got to do a drum, but he did make some delicious confections that he dropped off.
Yes,
with us. So
he actually bought those and brought those to us.
those were.
So he
quite good.
didn't make them, but they were
Okay.
quite good.
Well, thank you very much for those.
Yes, thank you. Well, we do enjoy getting treats. So, just a thought. If you have something that's in your region that's unique,
Not saying, just saying.
just seeing if we'd like it. I'm saying. BC Rockcaller says the first maze we did was at a mega in the Three Hills, Alberta. It was in Three Hills, Alberta in July 2011.
A little while ago.
Yeah. Let's see. So the Instagram playground, we got to see Gold Country. We got to see the the two ladies that represented Gold Country when we had them on the podcast last.
Always nice.
And that was fantastic to see them in person, and their booth was swarmed as well. Yeah. They had a lot of information there available to you to grab at no cost. So, they have the tourism books. They also have them in, English and French and German. And I thought, if you're looking to challenge yourself. So,
yeah.
Adventure Smart was also there. They were up on the main stage as well. Great to go see the Adventure Smart people. And boy, they just teach good things, know the 3 T's, know your basics. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause we want everybody to get out and have fun and then come home safely afterward.
There you go. Jeannie says, yes, he got to make one real thin when the people had to pay. I got one real thin, the signpost was pretty great too. Yes, that's right. An awesome tradition. Now the signpost usually is something like a 4x4 on a stand with, signs pointing to previous GeoWoodstocks in the general direction and how many miles. This year's, it was a tree, quite wide-based tree, and very well done.
Yeah,
Looked
it was really good.
Yeah. And, of course, we also did the Midnight Madness event, and this will wrap up our GeoWoodstock 18 experience.
We're all mad down here.
That's right. That's where the poutine truck was. Big red poutine.
Was there, yes.
Yeah. So a huge lineup in front of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Great seeing people there during the day and the evening. We went and did some adventure labs with the Midnight Madness. Just a great experience overall.
Enjoyed that altogether. I like the addition of table games at the Midnight Madness. Instead of all about coins, there were table games spread about. MC3 Cats chickened out on the poutine truck. Did someone say poutine? So MC3 Cats, did you have the chicken poutine? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm thinking maybe.
I don't know if there is a chicken poutine. Oh, but Gearhead had it, and he said that was good poutine. There you go. Oh, I think the space between GeoWoodstock and Midnight Madness was just about right.
Yeah.
It was a couple of hours, allowed you to go back, if you wanted to go back to a hotel or your Airbnb, wherever you were staying, go get some food, come back at night, and do a night cache. And we did a couple of adventure stops, didn't we?
Yeah.
In the near dark.
Yeah. Yeah. But we made them work.
Yeah, exactly. Well, folks, that's what we have to talk about. And we thank you so much for tuning in this evening and listening to us ramble about GeoWoodstock 18.
Absolutely. And I would like to take a moment to thank Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism. They are our corporate Denali level sponsors. Saw them both this weekend at GeoWoodstock. Appreciate them both. Really appreciate all the patrons' help. Landsharks.ca, well, it's the outdoors adventure and geocaching store. You can check them out online. And of course, they ship online orders daily if you weren't able to make it to GeoWoodstock and pick it up in person. Go over and check out exploregoldcountry.com as well for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures.
I don't think we have to tell people that anymore because they've been there now.
Right.
They know how amazing these adventures are. And we'd also like to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That is Landsharks, Gold Country Geo Tour, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cashly. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website. Like M-Nerve did, who I saw today.
Yeah, Peach of Washington saw her at GeoWoodstock.
And MC3 Cats.
GSM times 2.
Oh, I'm Max.
Antaeus.
Pick Magnet.
GeoNav Pro.
You, Dak.
Flagman.
Trexer.
3 hams and a rose. Good to see you Saturday.
Just finding our way.
Team Noltex. Looking forward to seeing you next Saturday.
B Pendragon.
Kid Vegas 19.
Donners.
Logwork.
Saw them on Saturday. Genies. Saw him on Saturday.
Yeah. Alarobrick.
Gas Station Tuna.
J-Car.
Greenwords.
Keats 94. May or may not have seen Keats. Never seen.
Dora Moore.
Seebeck Tribe. Oh, yeah.
May or may not have seen her.
Yeah.
Sprouter.
Boomer 365. You know, we got a lot of comments. People knew who he was because of this podcast. So that was great.
That's right. Yeah, it was good to see him. And, you know, he appreciates his name said that way. Just, you know. Horsgot.
Segehove.
Kennel Barb.
LG 9000.
Kev MacD.
Wet Coaster.
Camp Clan.
Skyhawker.
Kitty Quest.
RE54321 also stopped at the booth.
Yep. Subway Mark. And
of course,
Dylan.
Geodog Dylan. I saw you talks to Rocks at Woodstock, GeoWoodstock.
Ackerdock.
CRS 98.
Fairwood West.
And Broncos fan for life. So many of those names we saw in person. I didn't mention everybody, but I loved seeing everybody there. It was great. Please, if you see us at an event, come up and introduce yourself and stay hi. We love meeting you in person. And we hope you all keep well. We look forward to seeing you in person at big events. Rumor has it there's another one this coming Saturday. I don't know. It's somewhere.
Something going on, yeah.
Yeah. Around a needle or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's Seattle. There's needles all over the place.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Hey, folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want to talk about. In either case, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and so many more. Subscribe and give us a review. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in an audience, a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fabulous, fast, fantastic 5-star review. And, of course, you can call in 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask a question, or stop by our booth at the 20th anniversary event any time of the day, not necessarily night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. Join us every Thursday night right here at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. This show is produced by Chris Humphenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2022 by Chris Humphenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
The After Show. Let's see. I know we've got some FATAS. I'm going to have to go back and look for it.
Yeah, but while you're getting there was a question. I think it's BC Rockcrawler said, Brad, did Gearhead build the tree? And he said, no, TARDIS wouldn't saw on GeoStock, but he said Soupy 58's hubby built the tree, which was awesome. I think that's because he played hubby down there. So, yeah, it was an awesome tree.
Nice.
We're talking about the signpost tree.
M3 Cat says we're making Boomer a star.
Yes, we are. And I apologize for blowing people's ears out a few weeks ago, but all in good fun.
Oh, this is funny. Jeannie says, 9:00 is a civil time to see this podcast.
Right? Yeah.
That's not typical for him.
We did meet quite a few people that say they live on the East Coast and had trouble watching our podcast live.
Yeah, because, it's midnight.
All right.
That's okay. You don't have to be live. There's a lot of fun live.
Yeah.
You can always watch later on YouTube or listen anytime on a podcast app.
Yeah.
Now, Seebeck Tribe says, I had poutine for the first time while having dinner with Gear Guru and Leon. It was a game changer. Okay. I expect to see a poutine restaurant opening up somewhere along the Olympic Peninsula now.
Could be.
Oh, let's see. I know there was some FATAS. I'm sorry. We're working on our own this evening. And the FATAS was quite early on.
Keith says, see you in the shadow of the Space Needle on Saturday, maybe?
Ooh.
You can also stop by the Cache Advance booth at the anniversary celebration to see the geocaching vlogger in Komokino. They'll be autographing the comic books.
Oh, nice. Maybe I should bring mine then so I can get them autographed.
Yeah. For a small fee, you could, no.
And some ketchup potato chips.
Ketchup chips, that's what it'll cost you right there, yeah.
Well, I can't find the earlier FATAS. I apologize. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us. And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.